Hi there, and welcome to Worth a Thousand Words, the photography show which brings you the stories behind the images. This episode, we visit the legendary Grand Teton National Park. And yes, it is the place landscape photographers' dreams are made of. Grand Teton National Park is home to some of the most iconic scenery in all of America, which means that you're never far from an epic photographic opportunity. The landscape is dominated by the Cathedral Range, which is arguably the most famous section of the Rocky Mountains. The sharp, jagged peaks are much more dramatic than the older, more rounded mountains of Colorado to the south. One of my favorite features of this location is getting two mountain ranges for the price of one. The reflections we find throughout the park come courtesy of the Snake River and a little help from the local beaver population. These furry little critters have built a multitude of dams. The reflecting pools scattered throughout the Snake River Valley are definitely worth exploring, especially during magic hour. If you're into landscape photography, chances are pretty good that you've seen a picture of the iconic Moulton Barn. It's been called the most famous barn in America, a lone structure standing stoically beneath the Cathedral Range. In reality, there are actually two of these barns. They stand about a quarter mile apart from one another, and I would consider both to be equally charismatic. They've each been photographed 1 billion times, so there's really nothing new here. But they still make fantastic historic additions to the photography portfolio. The barns reside to the east of the Grand Teton in a low valley called the Antelope Flats. Early summer is wildflower season, making these flats a great place to build a lot of colorful foreground elements into your compositions. Even if you don't have the mountains in your viewfinder, there's a lot of first-rate material to work with here. It all just happens on a much smaller scale. Alright, here we are. You've made it halfway through. Thank you for not falling asleep. Do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. It only takes a second. I know you can do it. Alright, cool. Back to the show. If you decide to make a trip to the Grand Teton, it's important to know that it's not the only national park in the area. Yellowstone is just a few miles up the road. Now, given its colossal size, you'll definitely want a couple of days to explore Yellowstone. Since I only had a few hours, I decided to head directly for the one place I've always wanted to experience in person. The Grand Prismatic Pool is this otherworldly geological anomaly of vibrant color. The rich palette of reds and yellows is created by trillions of bacteria which thrive in the extremely high temperatures of the spring. Now, this pool is far too large to be appreciated up close, which means if you want to be able to get the big picture, you've got to head for the hills. Hike a few miles up into the nearby mountains, and the bird's eye view of the Grand Prismatic is an experience you will probably never forget for the rest of your life. Our little blue planet is home to all kinds of amazing destinations, and I've had the privilege to produce photographic artwork for homes and businesses all across the nation. If you are interested in acquiring your own little piece of Mother Nature, every image which appears in this episode can be purchased from my website. So be sure to check out the link in the show notes below, and I look forward to providing your next fine art photograph. Well, as I'm sure you can imagine, we've only just glanced the surface of these spectacular national parks. Both Grand Teton and Yellowstone are extraordinary places for a landscape photography experience, and I really hope you get the chance to go there someday. In the meantime, I'll do my best to keep bringing you really cool places right here. Thank you so much for joining us, and always remember, the camera will take you places you never imagined. All right, Grand Teton National Park, take one. This episode, I have no idea what I'm supposed to say. I ran out of words. Almost had it. Oh, dang it. Might almost think I'm starting to get a little better at this, but not even close. No way. That one didn't count because we didn't have the beer facing in the right direction. Cat, seriously? Don't you set one foot on that countertop. More takes just means more beers. I guess I can't argue with that. I will come right over there and smack your bottom. Not a huge fan of the cans, but first world problems, right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Get down. Oh my gosh. Don't worry, it's not a big deal. It only takes me like an hour to get the house all twinkly like this. All right, that last take, I think we'll take that. That wasn't the worst. That did not suck, as my friend often says.